Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive into the cutting edge of tech. I'm your host Nick, and today I'm stoked to share something that's really got me excited. We're going to host an n8n Docker instance right on the Flux network, all completely decentralized. If you're into workflow automation, AI, and blockchain, you're going to love this. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I stumbled onto the Flux project, and I fell in love with the project. I watched a short AMA session featuring Dan Keller, and he just said all the right things. The team's vision for a truly decentralized cloud, powered by community nodes, resistant to censorship, and super scalable, just inspired me to rethink how I approach building applications. This team is building the future. It just feels right. Today, I'm going to show you how I deployed the n8n instance on Flux and created a simple chat workflow using the FluxAI API. By the end, you'll see a fully decentralized AI chat in action. Let's jump in. Before we get our hands dirty, let's break down the stars of the show. First up, n8n, an awesome open source tool for automating workflows. Think of it as your personal robot butler, connecting apps and services without writing tons of code. I chose n8n because it has a broader appeal than writing agents from scratch. That was the original idea when I decided to start building with Flux since I'm a developer, but I think by enabling a tool like n8n and showing what it can do with almost no coding at all is far more powerful for everyone. Just my opinion. Then there's Docker, the container whiz. It packages your apps into containers that run anywhere, consistently. No more "it works on my machine" headaches. And the hero, Flux, the decentralized cloud platform. Flux runs on a global network of nodes powered by blockchain tech. It's not some big tech server farm. It's community-driven, secure, and unstoppable. Combining these, you get seamless, censorship-resistant automation. Imagine running your workflows without relying on centralized giants. Okay, here we are. We're at cloud.runonflux.io, and here we have all the information that we need to get this Docker image running. n8n is great because it's all self-contained into its own Docker image, and then once it's up and running, we'll get to play with it and do everything you can do in n8n. Geolocation, I didn't touch that. Components, we have your name, description, and most importantly, our Docker Hub repo. I added this container data here because this is the directory that n8n uses for its data. Okay, I'm going to break in here for a second. Working through issues that I was having, it turns out that you need a couple environment variables enabled to get out of the container and have your webhooks work correctly. Otherwise, they set themselves to localhost, and obviously we don't want that, so we have to give it a path. So you have this n8n editor base URL and webhook URL. Fill those in appropriately. Put the URL of your site. That's all it takes. So then when it creates the webhooks, it knows how to locate your app. The second thing is you're going to need this R with a colon in front of the container data. Otherwise, your data won't be synced between the three instances or however many instances you decide on. I noticed after logging out and logging back in, there was some changes that weren't saved. I just was having issues. So this synchronizes all the data between the containers. Just kind of a mistake I made because I hadn't done this yet. Hopefully I got to you in time and you can get this in. Back to the video. We're forwarding the ports 5, 6, 7, 8 because that's the default port used by n8n in their Docker images. We have 1 core, 3 gigs of RAM, and 10 gigs of hard drive space. Then you're going to make it over here to validate and pay, and you're going to see a bunch of information here. Just validate that that's good, and then you can go through the validation steps one by one till you finally pay whatever it is, whatever the amount of Flux. Now, there is going to be another video about how to buy Flux, about the Zelcore wallet, and we'll have that information available because to pay, you're going to need a wallet connection, and that's how I connect here. And it just makes things so much easier, in my opinion. So after you run this, you're going to see all the verification and setup of the Docker image, and in 5 or 10 minutes, you'll have a new application running. Now we're just watching the status update of the Docker image as it pulls everything and gets everything situated and ready to launch. So here we are, pretty excited. We're at our application that's running on Flux on the Flux network, totally decentralized. And here's my n8n instance where I can do all sorts of really cool AI stuff. I can make agents, do workflows, all kinds of cool stuff. Okay, so let's run a test. I filled in the information for the HTTP request, which I'll go over in a minute. And here's just a simple chat window, and we're going to see the output over here. Nothing too special, but we're running on Flux. Look at that. We just asked FluxAI a question and received an answer, all using n8n on the Flux network. So let's check out our information here. I'm going to pin this. So see, you say pin data. So now I don't have to keep making requests if I want to further process this data down the chain and add some actions and other things to this. It saves some coins, you know, querying. So basically, we had to make our own HTTP request node to call the Flux AI endpoint here. That's because there's not an existing AI agent built in n8n that does this for Flux. I've tried a few of them. They don't work. In fact, one of them crashed the application. It was kind of bad. So we're going with a simple, straightforward, ad hoc sort of thing here. When you get to the body, I mean, I'll have a blog post that kind of goes over this a little more in a little more detail. Here we have send headers. We need a header and a body. And in the body, just in the content field, we just add this from up here. And you can just drag this, you know, over here. And that's how I got the value. And I just plugged it in, make sure it's in quotes. And then it just runs and gives us an answer. And that's all we have for this one. Now, the other thing is, we could easily just add an AI agent, right, to the canvas and use any agent we want. We're still, in my opinion, this is still great because we're still on the Flux cloud, right? We're still using Flux, the Flux decentralized network. We're not in AWS. We're not running local. We're on a provider that is completely decentralized. Still pretty awesome. So the amount of automations you can do with n8n is pretty much limited by your imagination. So your inputs could be all sorts of things. An email from your Gmail account. It could be a tweet. It could be all kinds of different things that you can plug in as an input here. And then you can have your AI model, whatever you choose. See, we don't have Flux in here, so you can use Grok, OpenAI, whatever it is you want to use. And it'll process your information, and then you can send it wherever you want to another AI agent. So I might have some more videos coming up soon. They go over a little more complex things like this. But I think that's going to be it for this tutorial.
Today's video is sponsored by Debug Industries, elevating tech through media and AI innovation. We bring fun and education into your tech world so you can make the best of your AI experiences.
We bring you fun and useful content that will help you navigate the world of tech. We discuss software development, data science, hardware tinkering, blockchain tech, and more.
Visit us at debugindustries.com and let us inspire you to effectively leverage artificial intelligence, making your tech life more exciting and fulfilling.
Wow, what a ride. We deployed n8n on Flux, set up our account, built a decentralized AI chat workflow, and explored why this tech is awesome. Key takeaways. Flux makes hosting easy, secure, and fun. You now have the tools to automate anything, AI included, in a truly free web. Try it yourself. Head to cloud.runonflux.io and deploy. If you loved this, smash the like button, subscribe for more decentralized deep dives, and drop a comment. What's your next Flux project? We'll be building more fun and complex automations and showing those off in the channel, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Huge props to the Flux team for inspiring us all. The future's decentralized and is brighter than ever. See you next time.